Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast. Great to have you along. We got a really good show this week. Got a bunch of results from Memorial Day weekend for some tracks all across the country. So great to have you aboard. Derek Howard joins us here in a little bit as well. So let's get right into it. And we're going to kick off with results from the Brookville race, courtesy of Mr. Damian Bowers. So Damian, take it away.
Yeah, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Franklin County four-wheelers had their season opener. They had a test and tune Friday night with a gamblers race. Butch Krager and his Old Maroon Ford Stepside, they call it Old Maroony, taking the win over Kyle Powers out of a 21-car field. And then coming into Saturday morning, the juniors, Aiden B got first place over Luke S. That's all they listed here, so I ain't got the last names. And then for the Pee-wees, you have Lydia A over Lane S. Unfortunately, I was not there at the track in time to watch that, so I don't have too much information on how the kids racing all went. Then for the fast class and slow class, the main points paying classes for Franklin County, fast class, Austin Bullock with their brand new combination got a 339 all night, never went slower than a 342 on baseline tune-up over TJ Mack in the Cat's Ass Racing Oliver. Slow class. What?
Is Austin, is that twin turbo LS? Is that what
single turbo?
Single turbo LS now. Okay.
Yeah, single turbo 408 instead of the 4.8. And like I said, baseline 10 pounds of boost, and it's already running 339 at the end of the night.
Impressive, man. Congrats to those guys.
And then slow class, Dalton Sampson and his beautiful bronze short bed Chevy over Dustin Stevens. And he was driving the black Jeep that TJ Mack owns that night in the slow class. Can't remember the name on the back of it right off the top of my head. Other highlights of the weekend, the fast class final, they had a margin of victory of 008.
Oh.
Earlier in the night, I had a run. I got down to the final three and lost to TJ. But earlier in the night, I barely beat Jack Trainer by 3/10,000ths.
Wow. Oh, I think I saw that time slip. So very impressive. And how about shout out there to Jack of out the Outlaw race and now at Brookville kind of making some noise. So good for those guys as well.
Yep. But that was the results mainly for Brookville. We had a couple of big wheel stands, people bringing out new motors, new combinations, decided, oh, we'll just leave the wheelie bar off, and they got a pretty good look at some nice blue sky.
Nice. All right, so more results. John Sorg, you have results from Silverback Offroad Speedway from Memorial Day weekend.
I do, actually, and we'll start with Friday night's open bracket. That would have been myself driving Jim Bailey's Jeep over second place Jeff Miller. 350 class was Terry Wise over Dean Dangerman. We move into Saturday. We start off with Pee-wees. We have Liv Nineheist versus Breton Penoyer in second. Juniors was Lauren Ensing first place over second place Crew Herman. Then we move into adults and we go to comp class. Grace Pornia over Keaton Hendricks. Pro ATV was Wyatt Dunlap over stand-in Sean Roth. And ATV, we had first place John Stoner over Jeremy Dursky. Pro Comp was Jeff Miller running Ron Booth. We'll call it Booth.
Yes, Booth.
Yeah, it's Booth. And Open Modified, we had Elsa Gronick and Brian McQuethy. And then Pro Truck, we had Jay Pornia over Jake Duracell. And Pro Index was Mike Page over Mike Adale. So, yeah, a lot of families having some good nights there.
Yeah, sounds like it. Good car count for Memorial Day?
Yeah, it was decent. It was actually pretty decent. So,
good deal. Nice.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Okay. And by the time you're watching this, Silverback is having a race this upcoming weekend as well.
They are. Yes, they are. And I suppose you want me to talk about that.
Well, we can wait. We'll catch you on the next go around because I have some more results as well.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So I have results from the Mid-Michigan Trail Runners, also known as Greens without the E, located in central Michigan. They raced this past weekend, so kind of over the end of May, 1st of June area there. Pee Wee's first place was Waylon J. Second place was Jackson C. And third place was Carter D. In the juniors, Wyatt S. in third place, Braden S. in second place, and your junior winner, Amir D., which I believe comes out of the Mark Mosher trailer with his patriotic looking snowmobile quad. So congrats to Amir. And then modified was Doug W., Earl L., and Devin W. taking the win in the modified class. And in super modified, third place was Jack H. Second place, Michael B. And first place, after having picked up a win at the first Mid-Michigan Trail Runners race with his quad, friend of the show, Joe Cady, drives their Cady family Jeep to a win in the super modified class. So Joel is up to his usual tricks, so to speak, and putting himself in the winner's circle on back-to-back races over there at Mid-Michigan Trail Runners. So congrats to all the winners and everybody making this list. So that was some, that was a good event for them. So we'll see what their next scheduled race is and bring that around. So, all right. So through some results, which means kind of starting some more preview stuff. Johnny, you want to go right to the preview for Silverback for this weekend?
Why not? We got June 6th and 7th, Battle in the Sand. Friday, gates open at noon, test and tune at 5 p.m. Racing starts at 8 p.m. We'll have 350 in open bracket class on Friday night. Saturday, gates open at 8 a.m. Registration opens at 10 a.m. Pee Wee and Juniors starting at noon, and time trials to start right after. Racing starts at 5 to 6 p.m. With Pro Comp, ATV, Pro Comp, Pro Index, Pro Truck, Open Mod, Top Eliminator. And basically, that means anything and everything has a class.
Yep. Sounds like it. Sounds like a good weekend again as well. All right. Damian Bowers, what do you have on tap?
This weekend, we've got Grabler Raceway hosting what they call a big money race. It's going to be an increased entry fee, $100 entry fee, 100% payback from what I understand. They've also got a few classes they're going to run on Friday night. Friday night, they're going to have their test and tune from 1 to 5 p.m., $25. They're going to have a 350, a 40, and a 450 index, as well as a 50 and slower bracket class.
Oh,
$35 entry fee per class, 75% payback. They'll also have quick 16 qualifying. Saturday, they'll have the quick 16 with a $100 buy-in, 100% payback. Staggered Pro Tree, they'll have an open bracket with the $100 buy-in, 100% payback. Kids will start at 8 a.m. and immediately after they're going into the qualifying for the bracket race.
okay. All right.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find just to make sure I've got all the dates correct here. And of course, I'm not finding it when I want to. Oh, here we go. All righty. And then next weekend, we will have the second race, the Franklin County four-wheelers, just normal bracket race weekend, standard $30 entry fee, points race for them, looking to be a good one.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds good. Any additional sponsors for the Cleese race?
Not that I know of right off the top of my head.
All right.
They've got their club meeting tomorrow night, so they might mention some of that tomorrow night, but I won't know till then.
Plenty good. So,
Kind of
all
late.
right.
But
So, opening up the show, Billy Teeters, what do you got for your first thoughts of the week?
I actually got a couple things. First off, when I went to Atoka Motorsports Park for the Heartland Nationals, it was awesome. It was my first race of the year. Got my kick back for the racing season here. Now that my bike is hopefully finished and running better, I am getting the itch to go racing some more. So that's why I'm going to go to Atoka's double points race in July. And we're supposed to be racing at Thunder Valley this coming Saturday. I don't think it'll happen. So I think I might just journey on down to America's Oasis in Winoka, Oklahoma, next to the Little Sahara Dunes. They got a youth race weekend going on there this weekend. Basically open track for the kids, and then I think they're going to do like just I don't know. And then kids are going to race each other. I don't know if it's split up to like dirt bike, like kids and just dirt bike classes, quads classes, or whatever, or just one big bracket class. I don't know what they got planned with that, but I just know they got a plan full of just kids taking over the track for a long period of time, the whole day. And they said that, yeah, if anybody else wants to come run some test and tune at the same time, you're more than welcome to. So that's what I plan on doing if we can't race at Thunder Valley. And I'll definitely bring some highlighted coverage from that if I do make it down there, if I don't go to Thunder Valley this coming weekend. But I did have some cool tidbits from Atoka Motorsports Park's Heartland Nationals. I got to give a big shout out to Randy Kembley, RNS Collision Center, sponsored the coverage for the weekend. 5 weeks before the race, the dude was in the hospital because he had a heart attack. And he told me this story about how he had a heart attack. He goes to the hospital. The next day, he's getting dressed. He's about to walk out, and the doctor comes in and he says, Did somebody say you could leave? He's like, no, I feel good. You put 3 stents in my heart. I feel fine. I'm gonna go home. And he's like, well, just promise me you're not gonna work. The doctor says, promise me you're not gonna work this week. I know you got all those businesses. Just promise me you're not gonna work this week. He said, no, doctor, I gotta work. I gotta work. And then he says, well, just promise me you're not going to go racing this weekend. He says, no, doctor, I got to go racing this weekend. And then, Randy just like got 3 stents put in his heart the day after, right after he had a heart attack. And then he just went back to his daily life. The dude is a different breed. And I was like, damn, dude, you're working yourself too hard, aren't you? And he was like, listen, my son died when he was 16 years old. I don't know when my time's going to be. There's an 80-year-old man in that altar still racing to this day. So as I see, I think I got 20 more years left. And that dude's just living life. It's kind of dope seeing it like that. And after talking to him in that perspective, it was really cool.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. So big shout out to Randy Kimbley. And he had a new Pro 1 bike, and that thing was cool.
Yeah.
And he bought Pat Goodell's car at one point, which was the Crude Awakening car.
Yep.
And then he sold it. I didn't know he sold it because when I went down there, some dude was racing it in Pro 1 cars, and I went up to the guy that owns it now. His name is William Rainey, and he named it Shit Happens. And it has a picture of Tom Hanks on the side of it. I don't remember what movie it's from, but he's wearing a tank top and he's like, he's doing the waving face and shit.
You don't remember what movie it came from?
I don't remember the movie, but it says Shit Happens on the side of it. And it's still the same colors, green and black. And I went up to the guy, William, and I said, hey, dude, because his son got second in Pee Wee's. I was like, hey, dude, your kid's a hell of a racer. And I told him, like, hey, do you know how legendary your car is? He was like, oh, yeah, it was Randy's old car and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. Before Randy had it. He didn't realize how historical his car was in the sport, just like up in Michigan and all that shit.
Really?
And I told him, like, dude, I told him all about it, how Pat had it and ran top alcohol with it for years and shit like that. Ran the 250s all over the country, West Coast, and all that shit. And I told him, like, go on Lone Star's website and go through their old photos from 2006, 2007, and you'll see that car with Pat driving it. It was cool to educate him on the car he's driving, because
that's funny that he has no idea how many laps that car's got on it.
No, he probably doesn't. And it's still got a blower motor in it, so we can rest easy on that. And but he's just bracket racing it in Atoka, Oklahoma. He's running a good 330s in it, so
sweet.
Good for him, man.
He got some monster paddles on it too, so he's doing really well. So
yeah, nice.
William Rainey. But yeah, that was my little bits from the weekend.
Nice.
I got the itch to go racing again, was the most important one. So
well, that is good. All right, Dave Applegate, you possibly also have a race that's coming up this weekend?
Yeah, from thanks to Damien. Appreciate that, Damien. It looks like Tri-County Four-Wheelers up in Lisbon, Ohio is going to have one this weekend. Their flyer, by the way, is really cool looking on this one. I don't know who did their flyer, but it's pretty sharp. June 6th, they're going to do index racing. Looks like the start time is 6 o'clock. Well, that's kind of weird. I'm sorry, it's backwards. Gates open at 3. Start time is at 6. Sorry, it's on here a little bit backwards. Entry fee is $35, 80% payback. Their classes for your index is $295, $330, $360, $40, $440, $480, $520, $560, $60, $640, $680, and slower.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, so they
Get
got
in where you
plenty of
fit in,
index.
man. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
they definitely do.
Don't
And then
say
we
they don't
go
have
over
a
here.
class for you.
Yeah, then we go over here to June 7th is their bracket. Kids start at 10 a.m., adults start at 2. Gates are open at 8 in the morning, 80% payback with trophies. Classes, they've got super stock, 550 and slower, $35. Pro, 549 and faster, $35. Super Pro, 450 and faster, dial to the nearest 10th. I think a lot of tracks are starting to do that right now. Adult quad and side by side, $35. Youth Pee Wee stock power wheels only is $2. Now, me and John was there, and we watched those power wheels, kids. Man, that is a absolute blast watching those kids do. Actually, seen one little girl run into her dad. It was
It was
fantastic.
great. It was great, and they did not disqualify her either.
That's right. It's so fun to
Kids,
watch.
you can
that.
run your parents down in Pee-wees.
I'll tell you, Tri-County, hats off to them. They do a fantastic job with the kiddos. Then they
did.
have youth juniors, ages 6 to 11, $5, and senior, age 12 to 15. No dirt bikes in that one. I would assume that's just all quads. $5 there. So if you're around that Lisbon, Ohio area this weekend, definitely check them out. See how it goes, but definitely get there early enough to watch the kids. That's something to see. Have your phone ready.
How many Pee-wees do they have, Dave?
Oh man, John, I don't know, but when we was there,
I don't remember 20, 30. I mean, they had a good
Had to be.
showing of them.
At $2 a piece?
I
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
That's
it was.
impressive.
It is.
It was
Well,
good.
don't forget, Isaac, because of you, Newman Power Sports stepped up and paid for some of those kids to race that weekend, I'm pretty sure. Because you called out somebody to pay for it and somebody ended up paying for it.
That is true. That is true. And that shout out Newman Power Sports, that was awesome.
Yeah,
and I loved that. I mean, that was great. So sweet. All right.
And if I remember right, guys, I believe that time me and John was there. Believe me, I think we put in $100 towards kiddos that weekend.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal, man.
And
All right.
That was a great time. It really was. Like
Well,
I said,
somebody
they do a
paid
great
for the
job with
kids.
the
That's all that
kids,
matters.
so.
That's all that
it was
matters.
good.
That's
It
right.
was good.
Very good.
It was good.
All right. So I have a couple things. One, we've got some great racing coming up, at least here in the West Michigan area. We have Texas Mud Drags. It'll be next week, Friday. So June 13, 14, coming to Silverback Offroad Speedway, 200-foot heads up with, this is a class I'm looking forward to, the true open class at 200 foot on Friday night. That is literally, it's open. If it runs, it qualifies for it. That means, as I know it, that means side by side, dragster, full size. I'll be honest, I don't know if it includes ATVs, but I would think if you're going to say open, that's pretty, no pun intended, open to whatever. So I would love to see a huge class of that. I think they're also running a bracket class possibly that Friday night. So bracket racing, some 200-foot stuff, which should be awesome. And then Saturday, all the Texas Mud Drag classes are going to be there. Damian Bowers, you plan on being on site?
I plan to be up there right now, working on still trying to secure some extra funds on making sure I'm able to take the race car with me, because I'm really hoping to run that small block power adder class. I'm still heavily outgunned, especially after seeing Vogel up and pull off some 340s at the last race you guys had up there. Damn,
Very
that
true.
truck is evil.
That thing is
Can't-
moving.
I've seen
Can't
Nick
wait to see
DeBoer
that thing.
testing. I don't know what Super Toy weighs. That one would be a great one to have in the class. Bad Company with Brian McWethy. I know Mike Page is going to be in it. I don't know what he was running last weekend, but that's always a strong running blazer. It's looking to be a blast. The Door Slammers class, heck, last weekend, Holden Eckerd with his Ford Ranger, they just finally got it testing at 8,200 foot density altitude, and that thing was ripping in their backfield.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that door slammer class is going to be absolutely something else.
If I have to pick someone though, still right now, I'd still got to go with Earl.
Yeah, Earl would be a good choice, as Earl ran 308 a couple weekends ago at Silverback.
306.
So 306.
306. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, hopefully if everything works out right, we'll have a special guest on to talk about the Texas Mud Drag Race next week. So looking forward to that. But it should be a great weekend. I also will be on site in the tower and doing what I can for some live stuff. So we should have some pretty good coverage that weekend. And then 2 weekends after that, the Outlaw Sand Drag Series comes to town with their circus. Should be an excellent race as well. That is June 27 to 28. Everything from Pee-wees to top eliminator, King of the Outlaws class should be very interesting. We'll see if Doug Van Lett can actually, if Doug knows 295 or if that was a fluke, so to speak. So we'll see how that happens with that. And then the weekend after that, we roll right into Pro Truck Friday and Saturday. This is it's gonna be a great next basically 4 weeks here in West Michigan. Looking at the schedule, I'm very excited and should be pretty awesome. So yeah, that being said, earlier this summer we talked about and in the spring we may have had some little cloudy times as far as we had some tracks that were shutting down and we're going to run this summer and that sort of thing. And we really encouraged people, hey, listen, get out, support your local tracks and that sort of thing. I can report from the greater Michigan area, I know of a track that is going to be opening sometime this summer. Don't have a ton of details yet other than the location of it. And don't know if it's going to be 200, 300, exactly what it's going to be, but it is going to be dirt/sand drag type stuff. And also talked to some people last week, and there could be a fairly sizable race on the horizon coming up yet this summer in Michigan. That could be a pretty big deal if it starts to come together. A lot of pieces moving around with that one yet. But stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some good info here shortly. So we'll just leave it at that. But hopefully that can come together. So things looking a little brighter, folks. Should be a great summer of racing. Looks like we're really hitting our stride all over the place. Billy Teeters, what else you got?
We are working to reschedule the Shelton's race. I should have brought that up whenever I had my little bit, but we are working to reschedule the Shelton's race. We should announce that hopefully before you guys watch this, and if not, soon after.
Excellent. Give us something else to talk about as well. All right. Anyone else before we move on to the rest? Yes, Dave Applegate.
All right, real quick, guys. Some of you may have seen I was able to get a little bit of service. I went live at Bardstown, Kentucky for the KOI race just for a little bit. I had some trouble with trying to keep the live to go. I had no luck with it. So what we have done, we've got some videos, I've got pictures, and I'm going to get that together with the help of Caleb or Billy, and we're going to throw that together, and we'll have something out there for you at the KOI event. Had a great time. They had over 300 entries. It's a fast paced. I know Isaac has been there. You have to be ready. It's a great time. I raced in it a little bit. I didn't have much luck with the paddles. It's typically a hard pack type surface.
Oh yeah.
I look like John Force out there doing a pedal fest, to be honest with you, but it was a blast. Let me tell you that. But yeah, just be on the lookout for that. We will have some videos popping up for that. And that's another one. We were speaking of kids there at Tri-County Four-Wheelers. KOI, Lewis and his family does a fantastic job with the kiddos as well. So look them up, KOI Drag Racing, and be on the lookout. We'll have some videos and picks up soon. And that's all I got, Isaac.
All right, to close it out, got to make sure I mention this as well. Our friend of the show, David French, and that group at West Virginia Dirt Drags having a race. It is next weekend. It is the 14th. It is the same weekend as the Texas Mud Drags up here, but they're having a benefit race for, I believe it's Jeff Hammond. Have a lot of money put up, a lot of prizes and stuff. Check their webpage, their Facebook page out for more information, but wanted to make sure we talk about that. And if you got questions, you're interested in going to that race as well, hit up David French. You can either contact him directly on Facebook, or if you need to get a hold of him through us, be more than happy to put you in touch as well. Dave Applegate joining us with, well, I'm not sure what this announcement is, but let's bring it on. Dave apparently has moved into Wisconsin with his dairy herd there, and
Wow.
I'm not sure what's going to happen next, I'll be honest. So I'm not sure where this is headed.
I actually think he's moving to Kentucky with it.
Well, you guys know me. I always like to kind of do something a little bit different, and I just thought, let me move on in here real quick.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
All right, guys, I've got some sad news, to be honest. We're trying to make light of this, and it's not. Little Sandy is officially over. It was signed off on Friday. I had another person that showed interest with me to possibly buy the track, keep it a racetrack, and we were 2 days late. We did not know.
Dave,
So from
were
here
you
on
guys
out,
milking
from
it?
here, so from here on out, Little Sandy has been bought by a farmer, and it will have cows.
Damn.
Good news. I cannot say who right now until we get the okay. But all the stuff at Little Sandy is being moved to another track. Once we get the okay to say it's good, I will let you know. So be
Excellent.
prepared.
Excellent. We like that.
Wow.
And that's all I got. But I think it's time to move on.
Oh my God, Dave.
We're going to have to work on his lead in and outros, because this is all right.
Yeah,
We need
but
more of this silliness, I think.
as much as that's not the best news, hearing that it is officially done. You know what? Good to know that at least the timing system and some of the other stuff is going to move on to someplace else, and look forward to the update as soon as we can broadcast that at that point in time. So great stuff, Dave. Nicely done, and way to at least get creative with bringing in the new news. So, and a little bit of a somber note here. Have to talk about passing of he was more of an Ohio, Indiana guy. I had run into him and his dad, I believe, a couple times down at Last Blast. Had a cool flat fender. Really enjoyed watching that thing run. Stacy Presley passing away this past week or weekend. Not 100% sure on the timing of it, but Damian Bowers, this is more in your wheelhouse. Give us a little background info here.
Stacy Presley, like you said, second generation racer. Him and his dad have been doing this since almost the beginning of Gravel-Rama. So over 50 years of racing for him and his father. His daughters raced, his sons raced. I don't know how much they race right now or if they'll be getting back into it. He was best known over the last several years with that little brown flat fender, healthy small block front end in the air half the time. He also had his dad's old Jeep funny car that became his, called Papa Top. He passed away at 55. Really unexpected. None of us, it caught us all off guard here. Services for him were this past Monday. He's someone that all of us will miss, especially in this area. He was always present at the races and always a big part of it, helping out or racing himself with his family.
Well said, my man. Yeah. Condolences from us to all of his family and anybody that knew him. That's rough. And let's face it, I mean, having turned 50 myself, 55 is not terrible old. So, again, condolences and prayers from us to the community down there and to his family and friends. So, all right, so that is going to wrap up our lead in to this week's episode. Great to have you along, and stay tuned. We got great things coming up. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paddle Talk podcast. And this episode is brought to you by our friends at Silverback Off-Road Rentals. Want to go in the dunes but don't have anything of your own to take you there? Great news for you. Silverback Off-Road Rentals has you covered. You can experience Silver Lake's ultimate off-road destination and adventure with Silverback Off-Road Rentals. You can go behind the wheel of a premium rental vehicle ready to conquer the Michigan sand dunes like nothing you have ever done before. Great times, great atmosphere, and great adventures await when you contact Silverback Off-Road Rentals. They're located right across from the entrance to the dunes, so they're easy to find, and they have rentals available April all the way through October. So whether you want to do a sunset cruise during the summer or even maybe a color tour of the dunes during the fall, they've got you hooked up. Contact them today. That's Silverback Off-Road Rentals. All right, and John has an ad read for the Legends race at Silverback Off-Road Speedway coming up in August.
Thanks, Isaac. Gates open Friday, August 1st at 9 a.m. We're going to have test and tune at noon. We'll have 2 TE sessions of qualifying, a 4.0 index class, a 350 index class, and we'll top it off with a Mac Daddy Quick 8 ATV in honor of Jesse McComas. On Saturday, August 2nd, gates open at 8 a.m. Juniors start at 9 a.m. We'll start with juniors and peewees, and then we'll move in to classes like Top Eliminator, Comp, Pro Comp. Then we get to our head up, or our more featured classes with Steph Taylor, Pro ATV class, the Brian Harrison Pro Truck class, the Bob Cameron Quick 16 class, the John Schultz Open Mod class, the Brian Smith Senior ATV class, and the Bob Reitman Pro Index class. That will all be taking place on August 1st and 2nd at Silverback Off-Road Speedway.
Silverback Off-Road Speedway, located in Mears, Michigan, 7186 West Deer Road in Mears, Michigan. You can also just easily type in Silverback Off-Road Speedway into your GPS app, and it'll take you straight there.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paddle Talk podcast. Great to have you along, and we are talking all things Heartland Nationals from Atoka Motorsports Park. Happened over Memorial Day weekend. Big race out there in kind of that western edge of the Midwest. So great turnout. Had some little bit of sketchy weather, I think. So, but we have Derek Howard on board to talk all about it. Our man Billy Teeters was on site the entire weekend. So let's start off, Billy. What was our weather while we were out there?
You know, the weather was pretty good when I first got there. I didn't actually get there until Friday around 7:30, and then I caught just the tail end of the first round of the big money bracket class for the car. Actually, no, I caught the first round for that. I caught the tail end of the final qualifying of the day for the top eliminator, or the first qualifying. Was it the first? Oh God, I don't even know. I missed a couple blower cars, and then we were starting the first round of the big money bracket races. The weather that day was great. It was the next morning, Saturday, Saturday morning. We were delayed 5 hours, I believe, if I'm correct, Eric.
6 hours.
6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, and they were dedicated to get that race in, and they sure did. But you know, once that rain passed, it was it got hot. It did. Once that rain hit, it got really hot, and then we were able to race. Shout out to Cecil and Pate and all the track staff for working hard to get that track ready too, because from what it was after it rained with how wet it was to what they did to get it ready, it was awesome. And you know, usually like I said on the last episode, it rains before this race, or it rains on this weekend every race at Atoka. And
Yes.
this time it just rained like a lot more.
That's crazy. So, Derek, take us through what was our schedule supposed to be for Friday, and then again for Saturday, and then we kind of start talking about some results and that sort of thing.
Okay. Friday, it was scheduled from 12 to 5 for a test and tune, all classes. We had a little timing issue. We didn't get started till 12:31. Timing systems work perfect all year. Biggest race of the year, and it don't work correctly. Put us 30 minutes to an hour behind schedule. So we ended up going toward close to 6 before we shut test and tune off. Tried to get everybody down the racetrack at least 3 times if they paid for test and tune. So 12 to 5 was test and tune. Then we started Q1 for the top eliminator and unlimited ATVs, and then moved into the big money bracket later that evening after the first round of qualifying for the top eliminator cars.
Okay. All right. So we're Friday night. We're heading to the big money bracket class, and you guys had some added money for top eliminator this weekend too, correct?
That's correct. $7,000 of added money thanks to Randy Kimbley, Curtis Grady, Patrick Callis, John Pate, John Acker. Is that 5 of them?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds about right.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't want to miss anybody, but they added $7,000 added money, and payout was $10,000. So
And how many top eliminator cars did you guys end up with?
16 went on the bracket. Two
16.
broke, but they were 16 on the bracket.
That's impressive. 16 top E cars. That's a pretty good turnout, I gotta say. So
the field was amazing too.
Yeah.
Honestly, from number 1 to number 10 qualifiers, it was 2-9 to 3-0s. And then 11 through 16. I mean, it was still pretty competitive, and as he said, 2 of the cars broke, and Randy Kimbley actually changed cars, or else he could have qualified even higher too. So it was tough.
Randy was about a 306 on his car before he changed. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the final qualifying order here. I mean, you had the top 4 running in the 290s, and then you had everybody after that running 3-0s from the number 5 to number 10. So it was very, very close field. Very, very close.
That's impressive. And I got to admit, I didn't know that you guys would get a full 16 car field just being so close to the outlaw race and everything else, that happened. But really impressive that the field filled out nice and everything else. So, all right. So Friday night, we're rolling into the big money bracket class. How many are we talking in this class for Friday night?
And there ended up being 35 for the first round in the car class.
And there was was there first round buyback for that?
There was first round buyback. I didn't get a count on that.
That's pretty impressive, though. That's a big class, man.
10 to 12 bought back. I didn't have an exact count on that. So, but 35 was the original field before the buybacks.
That's impressive, man. That's really good. So, all right. So, take us through some results. How did we do on our big money bracket class then?
In the cars, Brad Civils, our current points leader, took the win from Harper, Texas. He beat another Texas racer, Pruitt Schultz, in that final. And I believe Derek Coleman was in the semis. So all 3 from Texas, Team Texas, put a whooping on us Oklahoma people and took our money.
Well, Brad. So a lot of people said Brad should have been on my top 5 list for bracket racers, and he really proved it on Friday. That was impressive work that he did.
Yes.
Is that kind of John Deere green looking?
No, Brad has lethal weapon.
Okay.
Red V8 dragster. Yeah,
yep.
Lethal weapon.
Yep, I know what you're talking about now. Okay. All right, so what else do we have anything else going on Friday night besides the qualifier and the car? Now, did you have an ATV big bracket as well?
Yep, we also ran the quads. It was $4.99 and quicker, so basically the Pro 1 class.
Okay.
Pro Tree. Dylan Civils won that, so he joined his dad in the winner's circle. So Civils Racing took home
Wow.
all the money. He defeated Ricky Lee, also from Texas. So Texas swept Friday night.
How many bikes did you guys have in that class, Derek?
I believe there was 19 on the original round one.
Nice.
So
Nice.
a
That's
nice improvement from our regular monthly races. So
yeah, that definitely, man, for a holiday weekend, that's a good sized couple of classes there for Friday night. Nice.
yes, we were
Civils, it's a Civils
pleased
family
with that.
reunion.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so let's move on to Saturday. So we're what 5-6 hours behind because of weather Saturday morning.
Yep, rain hit about. It was getting between 8:30 and 9 because I was just fixing to leave the house. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out here for a minute, and it hit. And my rain gauge showed 7/10, but if you saw Billy's videos, the drone video, looked like the track got 7 gallons. I mean, there was water everywhere. And Cecil worked his magic, got it ready to go. Cecil, Kevin, they done a great job on the tractor to get it ready. Got ready between 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then we started with the juniors, the Pro 2 quads, and the Pro 3s. They done their 2 time trials and got ready for eliminations, and that's what we started with on Saturday.
All
And
right.
then moving, everybody else got 1 time trial, and then we done other classes later.
Sure. All right. Well, hey, let's move right into some results then for Saturday.
Okay. Juniors was the first one. Caleb Rude got the win in juniors. He defeated Forrest Williams. So that was first and second in juniors. Don't have an exact count on that, but I believe it was close to 10 entries in the juniors. So
All right.
better than our monthly race, but still not real impressive. But it was growing. It's better than a monthly race. We'll put it that way.
Sure.
So Pro 2 quads was the next class. Jace Cassins got first, part of that POW racing team. He defeated his neighbors at the racetrack and in real life, Stephanie Smithhart. So 2 locals got first and second in Pro 2 quads. And then Pro 3 quads was Gage Furham, that's Tim Furham's son. He got first, and another Atoka racer, Anita Zerlin, she got second. And she debuted a new quad for her, and she was kind of leery of it, but she got it figured out pretty quick and made it all the way to the final. So shout out to Anita on getting second. And then we ran 6 index classes and then a trophy class to finish out Saturday.
Okay.
And I got the results as well.
Let's go.
Index 350 quads was the first one that I got. Michael Hopkins got the win over Gavin Briggs. Those were the only 2 entered in that class. 350 cars. First went to Amanda Matthews. If you remember correctly, Amanda swept the weekend last year. Didn't have the result she wanted this year, but she did get a win and picked up the 350 index class win. She defeated Anthony Moss. 380 quads. First went to Mike Brock from Phoenix, Arizona. He defeated Craig McNeil in that final. 380 cars. First went to Randy Davis, and second went to Patrick Callis. And the interesting thing about those were about both 360 cars, so they were doing a little sandbagging, but they made it work and got first and second.
They were sandbagging each other in the final. It was funny.
Yep, they both had their third cone picked out, is what they told me. So that was pretty interesting.
And those index oh wait, I'll wait until the end of it. Go ahead, finish these 4.0 index. I'll say something interesting about these index classes.
4.0 quads. First went to DeQuillian Hill. He defeated Avon Windsor in the 4.0 quad index. And 4.0 cars. First was Derek Holman. Second was Braden Baker, and that's all the indexes.
That was congratulations to all those winners. The index racing was some awesome racing. And we probably got done with those at like 1:30 in the morning. And then we turned around and started these sportsman classes that Derek's about to name the winners of. And oh my God, it was such a late night. We started racing 2 other classes at 1:30 in the morning. It was so late.
Wow.
Go ahead, Derek. My bad. It was just crazy.
Two classes. One was a sport comp quad. There was around 20 entries in it. First was Bodie Smithhart, which is one of our local racers here from Atoka. He's 10 or 12. He's still in the junior class, and he defeated Gage Fearham. And to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning and run your final and be that young, he went through some racers too. So congratulations to Bodie on getting that win.
Dude, that kid went on a tear. I don't know, he must have been the most wide awake than anybody at that moment, but that kid was on it. He killed
Yes,
it.
he was. And then the car class, 2 Pro 1 cars who not used to running the full tree, but first went to Tyler Smithen, second Chris Jackson, both of Team 34, both from around the Bonham, Texas area. So shout out to the Pro 1 cars drivers getting first and second in the sport comp class.
Those guys did really good. Smithson was very impressive through that whole thing. Just chopping the tree down.
Yes.
Wow.
I believe there was 34, 35, 30 something entries in that car class as well.
I'm just impressed that you guys managed to have somewhere around 55 entries in classes that did not start till after midnight. That is insane.
There was several illegal singles in that deal because several was ready to go to bed, but they were on the bracket.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who are not upset about losing because they're like, okay, I can finally go to bed.
Yeah.
It was awesome though. It was great to see.
So that finally finished the Saturday race that ended at 4 o'clock Sunday morning. And then we got to start all again at 10 o'clock Sunday morning. So it was a very short night.
Oh, yeah,
Morning,
no doubt.
whatever you want to call it. And then Sunday, we started at noon. Actually, we started about 10:30 with the Pee-wees. They did their time trials eliminations. After the Pee-wees, the Pro 1 cars, Pro 2 cars, and Pro 1 quads got one more qualifying session. And then TE went to their eliminations. So that was our Sunday program. And as far as results, Pee-wees first went to Lucas Pate, son of John and Amy. He defeated Grant Rainey in that final. So shout out to Lucas.
Dude, Lucas in the final, he was dialed
705, wasn't it?
Yeah, he dialed a 705, ran a 705 with the 1 with an 026 reaction time.
Yep, 27 pack.
Wow, that's impressive.
And he's like, I forgot how old he was. Is he 6, 7, something like that?
I think he just turned 7, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yes, very impressive. Yep. Pro 1 quads, they were the other class that finished early that night. Ava Windsor from the Kansas City Thunder Valley track took the win over Randy Kimbley. So shout out to Ava. Just a few minutes later, a little bit later, her dad joined her in the winner circle. So shout out to Jamie and Ava and I look back, that was Jamie's 3rd straight final at the Heartland Nationals.
Wow.
So congratulations to Jamie. Runner up to Jessica Powell. Then runner up to Craig McNeil, finally got the job done and defeated Jimmy Smith. I thought it was 2 wins in a row for Jamie, but I had to look it up. And it's 3 final rounds.
Jamie's a killer no matter what he drives.
Yes.
And Ava's always been really, really awesome on that bike. And regardless if you're crying about what she wears on the track or not, she's still really good at what she does. So
Pro 1 car first was Jared Bubba Lefester, part of that Team Texas group. Came 1 or 2 races last year, didn't see him for the rest of the year. I think he had engine troubles and finally got that fixed. So came back to the Heartland Nationals and put it in the winner's circle.
Wow.
Defeated Nick Coleman in the final of that class. So 2 more Texas racers in the Pro 1 car final.
John Acker calls it just an old mud truck, and that Bubba was just chopping the tree down. Dialed probably, I don't know what he's dialed, like a 429, 430 or something, but he was just on it all the time. He was so good. Shout out to Bubba.
Yes. Hopefully he'll start coming back with Team Texas, so give us another Pro 1 card regular.
I agree.
The other 2 classes, Unlimited ATV, only 1 entry, but Gavin Briggs was named the Unlimited ATV winner. And then the big one, Top Eliminator, first, John Pate, second, Pruitt Schultz. So, and that should be all of our winners from the weekend.
The top eliminator class, it was a $10,200 pot. John Pate taking home the win, but him and Pruitt actually decided to split before the race even started. So they both took home $5,100. So that's pretty dope.
That is. That's very impressive. So sounds like a really good weekend. All right. We're going to take a couple questions from our panel here. Mr. John Sorg, I know you had your hand up earlier, but what you got, buddy?
First off, I just want to say hats off because you had a lot of guys traveling, Derek, and to get the show done, I mean, you put your crew through everything to get it done, and I think all the people appreciate that. Second off, when are you coming to Michigan, man?
I don't know.
Great question.
You need to come visit us sometime.
I agree.
I've said if anybody from the Atoka area, or not just the Atoka area, any of our racers go, let me know and I may hitch a rides. But nobody said they're going yet.
Sweet. Well,
Maybe
tell
I
me
can get
you're
Gary and
going.
Jessica
There you
to
go.
Gary said he needs a new truck, so if he finds a new truck, maybe I can get him to go.
There you go.
There we go.
You need to take a whole crew, guys, from Oklahoma up to Michigan because there's some great racing up there to be had. And the tracks are similar, so.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Dave Applegate, I know you're chomping at the bit for something.
No, not me. I just got a question that just so for the 4-wheeler guys, and I could be saying this wrong. I think you said Pro 1, Pro 2, and Pro 3 ATV. What's the difference there between those classes?
Okay, Pro 1 is $4.99 and quicker, and it's on the Pro tree. Pro 2 is 5 flat to $5.99. That's full tree. And then Pro 3 is 6 flat and so slower, and it's also full tree. And then juniors is 15 and younger.
And those
And it's not, there's a gray area in the juniors. You don't have to be a quad. You can be, as long as you're 15 and younger, dragster, a Jeep, as long as you're 15 and younger.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And real quick on the top eliminator, do you remember what the ETs were in the finals there?
Pruitt was like a 308 and was John at 298.
Well,
If I'm correct.
I think John ran a 30. John ran a 301 or something like that. Pruitt actually red lit in the final
Pruitt did
against
red
John. And yeah, Pruitt. I think Pruitt ran way off number. It was like 311 or 3.
It was, like his slowest pass of the weekend.
Right.
So I don't know if he shut it off early because he saw the red light or not. Because all I could see was dirt coming towards me, standing in the starting booth.
So
That's
when's your
fair.
next big event?
Next big event. The next big event will be our Fall Fest Nationals, October 11th and 12th. The next race is July, I believe it's 11th and 12th, and it'll be what we call a double points race. It's more like a double header, like the NHRA does with the Lucas Oil Division. We'll you'll get points in the trophy class, and then we'll pre-bracket and do points in the money class. So that's our what we call a double points race, but it's not really double points. It's just a double header weekend.
And I will be there for that double points race. It's gonna
Okay.
be
That's
fun.
the points.
I'm gonna mess up all the points.
That's fine. Just don't mess up Pro 2 cars.
Pro 2 cars, don't worry about that. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. I'm gonna run Pro
Don't
2
mess up.
bike. I'm gonna run Pro 2 quads and I'm gonna run Pro 2 quads with the snowmobile bike, and I'm gonna run Pro 3 quads with my mini bike. So I got to figure it out.
Unless you want to be our blocker, you can take everybody else out but my driver.
And there we go.
I can enter my truck. We'll figure something out.
All right. Well, Derek, thanks for joining us tonight. Great recap of the Heartland Nationals, and great to have you on. And yeah, congrats to all the winners, especially that big top eliminator final. Very impressive, and congratulations to everybody out there.
Thanks for having me on, and thanks for all y'all do.